Mhm.
Welcome back to Passing Time with Craig. As always, I'm your host, Craig. We've got another great interview for you today. It's always great interviews. I know I say that a lot. If this is a drinking game, then you probably drink every time I say great or awesome. But whatever. I know what I like. And yeah, I've got a fun one for you today. Writer, actor, director, comedian, podcaster, just a very talented human. Susan Serrao is our guest today. We're going to chat about tons of fun things. But before we do that, I have to mention I got to go to the opening night of A Killing Snow at Vertigo Theatre that's on now. It's fantastic. It's a murder mystery. You don't know what's going to happen. It's some spooky elements going on with it as well. Canadian based and yeah, just fantastic. It was such a great show to go see. So if you're looking for something to do that runs till mid-April at Vertigo Theatre, so go check it out. You know you want to. Yeah, it's been busy for the past little bit. I did that. I also got to go to Grape Escape. If you haven't seen my TikTok, yes, I'm flexing my TikTok. Passing time with Craig. We did the whole drinking to see how we did. Like this is Craig and this is my first drink. This is my last drink. Very interesting. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Grape Escape is a great one because it's all included. So the ticket's a little pricier, but unlimited food and drinks, which is great. That's the biggest problem with so many of these fests. I'm calling you all out. You're expecting people to pay 40, $50 just to get in the door. You don't get anything with that. So, yeah, paying $70 to get in the door, but then drinks and food included. A lot of great vendors, local breweries, distilleries, food vendors. Pretty tasty stuff. I would say they need a little bit more food though, but you know, I didn't care. I was waiting in line. I wasn't waiting in line for food. I wanted drinks anyways. That's just me. All right, let's get right into it because, like I said, great episode. Susan Serrao is a fantastic person. I love chatting with her. We have so much to talk about. Just about comedy, the difference between improv and sketch and full scripted movies and TV shows, all the work that goes into it, what she learns, what helps her in each one. And we do talk about what it's like to be a female. Because why are we still talking about being a female comic? Shouldn't it just be everybody? Well, no, there's still some issues going on that. So we're going to talk about that, getting different voices out into the world, which is what we want to hear and see. So please enjoy my conversation with the wonderfully talented Susan. Well, Susan, it is such a pleasure to chat with you today. I'm very excited. We've got so much grounds to cover. You wear a lot of hats. You've done a lot of things. So I always like to start, with young Susan. Like, were you an entertainer? Did you want to do this as a child? Like, tell me about young you. Was this always envisioned?
Well, I grew up a dancer,
Oh yeah.
so I was on a stage since I was 3. And yeah, my brother and I actually used to put on special performances with like a science board.
Oh yeah.
We those what are they called?
Oh
Like
yes, yeah. Well, yeah, we all had them at some point in our science project. Yes.
yes, so we had one of those 3-ply, whatever it's called. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, it was a science board that we would put up and we would go behind it to change costume
Yeah.
and come out and we would lip sync to like different rap songs that we love.
Yeah.
Hip hop was just starting and we were like, this is the best thing ever. So yeah, I performed. And then like in grade 4, I was in the operetta, and then in grade 4, 5, 6. And then I don't really know if I was in choir in junior high. And then in high school, I took drama and we made up our own plays and our own films. But I just didn't really think you could make a career of it. So I would focus more on dancing. And yeah, I went to LA and danced, and I went to England and Ibiza, Spain, and I worked on cruise ships. So yeah, young me, I definitely loved to make people laugh,
Yeah.
and I definitely love to perform. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just always been there. What do you get when you are dancing in front of a crowd or performing in front of a crowd? What does that feel like for you?
If I am prepared.
Yeah.
If I'm prepared, it just feels like freedom, right? It feels like an expression. Well, for dancing, it just feels like I'm expressing music,
Mhm.
and the choreography. So it's actually a lot like acting, right? Where acting is the expression of the words in the director's vision, right?
Right.
Kind of a tool for the story. And that's what a dancer is too. So, yeah, there's just a lot of freedom and joy. And I think if I'm really in it, I don't even remember it. It's completely blank. And then after I get off the stage, then I'm like, oh, that was really fun. But everything leading up to it, like, especially like nowadays when I do stand up comedy or things like that, I dread, I dread it
Yeah.
for like days, hours before. And then I go on stage and I have such a fun time. And it's just like this flow state of I've got some stuff prepared, but also interacting with the audience. And then afterwards, I'm like, that was the best thing ever. But I'm like, I am in a sick cycle.
Yeah.
But I probably need to break.
Yeah.
Probably not.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, sure, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, I wanted to ask you because you have a lot of stuff on your IMDb, a lot of different things, but there's definitely a lot more comedy. I got to see Love Stuck at the Alberta Indie Film Fest in February. It was so good, so much fun.
Oh,
Um,
good.
what do you love about comedy?
Um, I mean, I think it evens the playing field. It helps everybody see what you're trying to say in a very non-aggressive way.
Yeah.
Now, you're not trying to force somebody to see your opinion or what you're trying to say. It opens it up because there's laughter, and that just kind of makes everybody a little bit more open. Also, it's just like it's kind of my natural state. I think I must have done it to get attention. As a kid.
Isn't that the case for all funny people as adults? We're like, oh, yes, it was to get attention as a child.
Yeah, because I was the third. I was the only girl. There's being raised when I was raised, there's a lot of misogyny. So that was a way to have some value and to get to say what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it sprouts from. But even like a friend of mine and I, we wrote a play, a 10-minute play. And we were like, this is a serious drama. Like this, it was going to be serious.
Yeah.
And it was about immigration. She's Swedish and I'm Canadian, but my heritage, like my dad is from Guyana. And so we were writing this play and it just became the stupidest thing ever. And we ended up doing this ridiculous polka where I'm changing her clothes and putting on makeup. And it was so stupid and funny,
Yeah.
but but then it was way more, it wasn't so much we're shoving it down your throat. It was funny and people could be like, oh, I guess that could be what it's like to have that immigrant experience. And then I've done a bunch of plays that were really serious and I do enjoy that. I do enjoy using like the Meisner and Uta Hagen and the more serious techniques that I learned at Company of Ropes and with David Rottenberg. And it's just when there's comedy, there's just more life. There's more joy. There's more, I just feel like there's more freedom and there's more fun. And why not bring some fun and joy to the screen when you're telling a story? And I find that actually like nowadays, even if you're watching a drama, there's comedy in it.
Yeah.
And if you're watching a comedy, there's drama in it. So it's like, that's life, right?
Yeah, I've had this conversation with other people on the podcast before, and I love when a really serious drama has this great comedic moment because they know they're like, oh, this is a great joke. We need to, and it just makes it more real. It's the same when a horror movie throws in a good joke. Like when you can blend in those things, or then yes, those nice sitcoms that we love, we grew up on, and then all of a sudden there's something a little bit more dramatic and heavy because that's real life.
Well, and that's where comedy comes from. Comedy comes from heavy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Something that's really sad or like, I mean, there's so many times in my life where something has happened that's like should be just devastating and we're laughing.
Yeah.
And then we're laughing at the fact that we're laughing at this thing that's devastating. Like it's just a way to cope, I think. That's like a healthy way to release that terror or that whatever negative feeling you're feeling. It's a great way to get it out.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So when you're writing, because you writer, director, actor, stand-up podcaster, doing all that stuff, do you find you're typically coming up with ideas and thinking in the world of comedy, or like you said, like you write something kind of serious, you had this dramatic thing, and all of a sudden you're like, maybe this is more comedic?
I do think that since 2020, I started doing more sketch comedy. And since then, since I did this play called All in the Timing and 15-Minute Hamlet, which was produced by Spirit Fire Theatre. It was the most ridiculous play I've ever done. We were dressed up as apes, orangutans or chimpanzees or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one. And we were doing 15-minute Hamlet as chimpanzees. And I just remember my oldest brother, Dave, was in the audience, and he can be a real critique of like what's funny, what's not.
Yeah.
What did they do? Like he doesn't do any of the stuff himself, but he'll tell you what's wrong.
Brothers.
Yeah. So I did this play and I played four of the characters. And so I just changed headpieces and like characters and accents and posture. And my brother was laughing so hard that he was crying, and he's like, I missed parts of it. It's so funny. And I was like, well, that's the most fun that I have on stage. So why am I trying to do the serious actor role when this is just as important and just as like much fun, and I like shine in it. Like I get comedy. So doing all of the other things like writing, directing, stand up, improv, sketch, it's all just an opportunity to perform comedy.
Yeah.
I just love making people laugh.
And have you found stand-up comic, you mentioned crowd work. I love when a comic can do great crowd work. I think it's one of my favorite things. But then doing improv as well. Do you find having a writing background has really helped you with those moments?
Well, interestingly enough, it's the opposite.
Really?
Yes, I didn't really start writing until after I'd done improv for a while. I mean, saying that, I was a choreographer for dancing, which is very much like writing,
Yeah.
right? But I did improv, and then I did sketch comedy, and then I did stand up, and I trained with Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, out of LA and New York. So that's where I probably started writing like with some confidence and with some kind of like clarity of structure.
Yeah.
But I would say like being able to do improv. So here's what I would say. Improv is learning how to do something with a group of people that support you.
Yeah.
Right. And then stand up is learning how to do something on your own in your own voice, which is, I think, scarier.
Yeah.
Also a bit more freeing because you don't have to like hope that your partner can support you, right? Like sometimes you're with an improv and you're like, oh, we're dying. And this person with me, I don't really trust them. And sometimes you're with somebody and you're like, oh, we're good. Like I can try different things. I can experiment, and you've got my back and I've got your back, and we're going to have fun. So, but stand up, it's almost like the audience is your improv group.
Yeah.
So that's where I get my crowd work from, is like I have stuff prepared. I say it, but sometimes it lands differently, or somebody says something and then I just kind of go with the flow with that. And I don't know, I think one of my talents, which sounds obnoxious, is I'm able to point out weird things.
Oh yeah.
I can like find something weird and be like, oh, that's interesting that you said that. So when in the audience, somebody like, I once did this bit about pants and sweatpants. And in the end, I end up regifting this guy who doesn't have the gift I want in his sweatpants. And this guy was offended. He was like, oh, nice. And I'm like, oh, did I hurt your like, and then I can just like, and be like, oh, like you haven't gifted somebody. And I can just kind of have fun with that.
Yeah.
Without attacking, I don't know what your question was.
We're just going everywhere, and I love it. But like that's the thing about stand-up comedy too, that I think people don't realize, is that like there's a lot of work to it, and you have these great jokes, but you can't really like practice with friends because people will have different opinions, and the ones that your friends like, I really don't think that one sells, and then that's the biggest laugh of the night, right? Like stand-up comedy, the way you have to prepare and really just change it each night because all of a sudden, well, nobody's finding that joke funny, and then all of a sudden, this is the funny one.
Yeah. Have you done stand up?
I've done it once before, and I was like, "This was so much fun," but I was like, "I don't know if I can do this again." Like, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress.
It's a lot
So
of
much
stress
stress.
for a
Yeah.
3 to 5 minute set.
Yes, I do find I prefer a 50, like a 10 to 15.
Mhm.
Those 5 minute sets are tricky because sometimes my joke is 4 minutes and I'm like, what do I do for
Yeah.
the last minute? Or do I just like slowly bow off the
Yeah.
stage?
just thank you. Thank you. Just very, very take your time and like, yeah, hi.
There's definitely a skill to it. Like people who can write for specific amounts of time and nail it every time. I went and saw John Mulaney with my oldest son, and we had listened to his album like on a road trip.
Yeah.
So we knew the timing. And we went to his show at the Saddle Dome, and his timing was exactly the same
Really?
as on his recording. And I was like mind blown because I always think you got to keep it fresh and maybe like, but I guess that's what you do when you're preparing your show
Yeah.
is you're going to try it out in different ways and figure out what works and what consistently works. And when people know your voice and your delivery, that's what they're laughing. They look for that. So it was really interesting to see that because I definitely, when I try to do that, it's stale and flat for me.
Yeah.
I have to find the joy in telling the story and not in hitting certain beats.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not like a prescribed comedian.
Well, and I like those ones too because it could be the exact same jokes that you're telling night after night, but it seems so much more real and like you just did this for this audience, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's the actor training
Oh yeah.
because when you train for monologues, in school, and then I've done a ton of workshops outside just to keep things fresh and learn new techniques. But when you do those monologues, it's really picturing the story, sharing all the details you can, and then finding the funny. And that's what stand up is. So when I started realizing that it's not as scary, I can tell stories, I can do it in my voice, I don't have to adapt myself for the audience, which can be tricky, I think, as a female comedian, which I hate using that terminology, female comedian. But a lot of times, if I go into a place with a lot of men that are not interested in hearing what women have to say, I have to be like, well, I don't really care because I have the microphone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say.
That's so funny because I was gonna ask you, like, what do you feel like in Alberta when it comes to female comedians? Again, like you're all just comics. We know this, but do you find that sometimes the audiences are like, oh great, what's she gonna come talk about? Like menopause, periods,
Yes, I am. No, dude.
which there's funny, like it's good, but like, do you find that the audiences in Alberta sometimes have this like shield up when it comes to female comics?
Well, I think I'm quite out of touch with all of Alberta because I tend to just do rooms that are female focused
Good.
or yeah, that's what I've kind of been like. I know a lot of comedians think you should go and play all the rooms to learn it. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, no, thank you. I want to play in rooms that want to hear women talk and joke. And actually, I produced a show with Corey Mack and Jenna Gouldaid last year, which was called Comedy Cafe. And it was Sunday mornings at 11:30, and it was all female and non-binary and trans female comics. And then we did all different kinds of things. It was like a variety show. There was stand-up, there was sketch, improv, there was music, monologues. We had clown, lots of different kinds of genres of comedy or, different varieties. And it was incredible. And then when the audience started building, it was like people came and they were laughing. And it was like women were talking about mental health and kids and, like we don't just talk about our periods,
Yeah.
Hopefully if a male comedian is any good, he doesn't just talk about his penis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hopefully he has something outside of his pants that is interesting in his life.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many times I'm, going to watch like an open mic night, and there's these guys getting the biggest laughs, and they're just talking about like it's still that cliche of like, oh, my girl, we're dating, and like it's just like, and people are laughing this up, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, why are we? We've been hearing the same shit for 50, 60 years. I don't care.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So like I go see, professional comedy shows, and typically it's all men. And the first two that are opening, I'm like, come on. Like I heard these jokes from men that look just like you 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, have you evolved at all? Like, do you have other thoughts? And then usually the headliner's good, but I have actually started replying when I get like emails that have like, for the next 14 weeks, here's our lineup. And I'll reply, I'm like, where are the women?
Yeah.
Where are the women? They're all like, maybe there's one black, maybe there's one that's Mexican or something, but otherwise it's white men.
Yeah.
No offense. I love white men.
Yeah.
But if they're all saying the same thing, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I want some other perspectives, some new comedy, that's what we want.
Well,
What's
exactly.
funny.
Yeah, like, and as a gay man, like, I like seeing gay comedians too, like, because that's just fun. Because then it's like, oh, this is something I can relate to, or like, it's just get more voices out there, and it's so baffling to me in 2026 we still have to have these conversations.
I know, and you know what? In a lot of places we don't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of venues where you don't, and you can go and see it, and it's fantastic. And then there's other ones that are just like so stuck in their ways, and you're like, you need to wake up because you're missing it.
Yeah, like what is it? The Attic in Inglewood.
Yeah,
is fantastic, and they have great shows, and you're getting to hear a bunch of different voices.
Yes, I love it. That's actually Laugh Loft on Sunday nights is one of my favorite rooms to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just, it's such a great venue, and everybody's welcome. Like, it's not like you have to be a vegan or gay or LGBTQ or a female or non. You don't have to fit into a niche.
No.
You don't have to fit into diversity. You can go and enjoy it. It's fantastic.
People go check it out if you haven't already.
Yes. Go tonight.
Yeah, go tonight. So let me ask you then, we've kind of touched on a bunch of stuff, but do you have a favorite thing that you do? Is it stand-up? Is it writing? Is it when you're directing, when it's a scripted short film or movie, play? What is your favorite, or does it just vary all the time for you?
My favorite is working with people that I love.
Yeah.
Right. So, I love writing. I love writing on my own. I love writing with a couple of friends. Meg Farhall and I are developing some stuff right now, and Sandy Summers and I are working on a writing program that will hopefully help Alberta writers get their writing up to capacity, so that we can get telefilm and we can get some of these funding Alberta projects. But I did a sketch comedy special called Got MILF.
Oh yeah.
And I wrote it and I produced it. And one of my best friends, Sandy Hookster, directed it. And she got the crew together. And then I'm the lead in all of the sketches. And it's 18 sketches. It's on my YouTube channel. But I also packaged it together with different pictures in between that are Got Milk inspired MILF pictures.
Okay.
If you want to see what those are, you have to go watch the special, and the special's on Roku. But putting that together and going through that experience was incredible. And working with all of the actors on there that came from Vancouver, Kelowna, and Calgary was so much fun. And hearing people say my words in the scene with me, I was like, oh, this is so fun. Like, and the women that I worked with, like Victoria Suter and Emily Schoon, and like there's Nancy's in Calgary. There's just so many wonderful women that we worked with. And some of them were like, oh my God, thank you so much for writing interesting women that are funny and intelligent. And I was like, why is this a thank you?
Yeah.
Like this should be what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh,
but it is hard to get really great roles. Like working in Calgary, I find a lot of my auditions are a crying woman. My latest audition was for middle-aged woman. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that that's even the name of a character. Like, this is the best you could come up with.
Yeah.
That's actually a huge variety of a huge age group of women. Like, I don't know what you're going for.
Yeah, that's not enough to work off of here.
It's so bad. But I like performing, but when I'm working with a good crew, I do love directing as well. Like, I find all of it, just making something good with good people is like a joy of mine.
Yeah. Do you like directing yourself, or is it hard for you? Like, I'm always
Okay.
intrigued by these people who can do these things. Because like, I like the idea of me directing myself, but I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know what I would be like."
Okay, so there's like pros and cons, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I wrote it, I do enjoy directing it because I know exactly how I see it
Mhm.
when I wrote it, right? Like, kind of like TV writers, they write it and that's the show. And then if you go to film, the writer writes it, but then the director's the one who's like, but this is how I see it. It becomes their film, right? So it's kind of different leaders. So when I write and direct, then I'm like, I know exactly how this is supposed to look. I know the funny. Um, Saying that when I write it, I see the funny in a way. When I direct it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I add things. And then when I'm acting it, I'm like, oh, you guys are assholes. You writer and director. Why are you making me do this? But it's like, I don't even realize that I am actually gonna have to do this at the end of the day.
Right.
I'm like, this is funny. And then I'm like, oh, would look funny. And then I'm like, oh shit, I have to do it. So I do like directing myself when I've written it, but I did direct something last February where I didn't write it and I was the lead in it. And I found that more challenging because the writer had a way of seeing it, and then directing it afterwards, I was like, oh, I think my character was maybe too strict or maybe too unlikable or maybe too something. Like, there wasn't a lot of joy in her. There's a lot of anger. And I think I would have liked to have worked with a director on that one who could have brought out and seen it. Because when you're in it, you don't necessarily see it.
Right.
And it would be nice to have somebody behind the camera that could have said, what if this was lighter or funnier or whatever? For Lovestock, the one you saw.
Yeah.
I wrote and directed it and I was the lead. But I had one of my friends was on set, Jade Benoit, and we've done improv together. And so she's a fantastic actor and she's also an incredible like crew member. So we had her on the crew and then she was going to be in it later. She's the one who was eating the popcorn.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I love that part.
oh my gosh, she's so fun. She took popcorn at me. It's probably really fun for her.
Yeah.
Anyhow, and just a little shout out for her. She just wrote and produced her first feature film,
Oh.
Rock Clone Lodge. And she wrote a part for me, which I love, but she's so funny in it. And the crew was incredible. So anyhow, that's my little plug for that. But in that case, she had come to me and it was like, the crew was very much like, I'm like, if you guys see something like this is collaborative, like, don't be afraid to say it. Cause if we can make it better, let's make it better. And Jade came to me and she's like, hey, so when you wax your ass, what if you I think that, okay, he says you should put the spoon in your mouth, but I also think that when you wax it, you kind of scream fuck or something. And so I was like, yes. Oh no, they told me to do a shot of maple syrup. Do a shot of maple syrup, and then when you wax, you scream. And so those two things were like brought in by crew members. And I'm like, yes, thank you. If we can yes and make this better, of course, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So I think that I like directing when I have other people that can help me see and they don't feel like, oh, you're the director, I'm not going to say anything. So that's just an environment that I have to set up beforehand to make sure that I have that support and the film becomes the best it can.
I have to ask you about what were you putting on you all over your body in that? Like, it wasn't syrup, was it? Like,
With syrup.
it was?
Yes. It was so sticky.
It's like,
And
I'm watching it, I'm laughing, and I'm going, there's no way. But I was like, but what else could this be?
it was syrup. So Megan Wesselmajor was the producer on that, and she went and got like a huge tub of syrup. And then we just kept refilling the bottle that's on set. But yeah, we had a ton of syrup. And it's funny because if you like look at my face when I'm waxing, both when I'm doing any of my bikini area in that, my face is crystallized at that point. So if you look closely, you can see crystals on my face from the maple syrup. So ridiculous. And
How long of a shower afterwards did you need?
incredibly not very long. We did some shots of me in the shower, like trying to lick things off my body and like the maple syrup, like, but it just rinsed right off.
Yeah.
So maple syrup's right. It just rinses right off.
So what I also loved about it, um, I'm such a fan. I think physical comedy is just so sometimes underrated and get forgotten about, but I love physical comedy and like just all those moments in that were so great. What do you love about physical comedy?
Ah, I think it's so funny. Like my favorite actors growing up were Chris Farley and Molly Shannon,
Yes.
and they just throw themselves into it. Like they're so committed. I read Molly Shannon's book.
It was so good.
So good. And I loved that she had like a bodyguard on set because she would just, as Mary Catherine Yellow, throw herself around and he would actually like grab her and throw her back on stage because she'd fall off stage. And I'm like, that kind of commitment and that kind of just you're bought in, I love it. It's my favorite thing. So I will do anything for a character if the character is doing it. If I know that it's coming from a good place, like it's not just a slimy director or gross writer being like, we're going to do this. And it's for the actual comedy and it's for the show is going to be good. Like I'm all in. I
Yeah.
love it. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. It's like when I said when I'm dancing and I'm in the flow.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm in comedy, I'm just doing stuff. And then afterwards I have to watch the video and go, I did that? Like,
Sorry, what now?
yeah. Yeah, stand up, I'll have videos and I'll watch myself. I'm like, whoa, that got a laugh. I'm like, what did I even do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I love physical comedy. I think it's my favorite. I actually would prefer to have no lines and just do physical comedy. I actually did a film last year. It's called Tell Everybody. And I've submitted it to a few things that got into like a silent film festival. And I'm a clown and it's a silent film.
Oh wow.
All just physical comedy with some title cards.
Well,
And I loved it.
physical comedy, I think, is also universal. So it doesn't matter what language you speak.
Yes.
It's just funny.
Yes, totally. Yeah, I love it. And actually, I think it helps me when I travel. Like I traveled to Costa Rica with my kids a few years ago, and they all take Spanish in school.
Yeah.
I don't speak any other languages unless I'm drunk.
Yeah.
So, and so we're in Costa Rica, and my oldest son will only speak if he completely understands all of the technical aspects of the sentence he's saying. And like, he kind of will not say anything unless he knows it's going to be the correct way. And my second son will like, just kind of put stuff together and be like, I think this is what we're asking. And I'm good with body language. So when my second son would ask the question and he's like, he's saying this. I'm like, oh, and his body's saying this. So we have to go over there.
Yeah.
So I can read it and he's good with the language. So boom, together we had it. But I do feel like physical comedy, yeah, it's universal. I mean, you can do it with kids. When my kids were little, half the time Peekaboo was just physical comedy,
Yeah.
right? Like it's so simple and so joyful. I love it.
I taught my nephew. I remember he was oh god, just about like 2 years old, or a little bit less than that, probably a year and a half. And I taught him like pratfalls, and he thought it was the funniest thing, and he just wanted to keep doing it with me, and he just loved it. And I was just like, this is amazing. Like we just spent 20 minutes of just pretending to fall down and like just go whoa, and he loved it. So then there's this 1.5-year-old and in his diaper, and he's just like la la la.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. My kids came to like we had this improv group that would do soccer Sundays. And so I would take my kids. And there was this one guy, Sean Kinsley, and he would pretend to kick somebody and slap his leg at the same time.
Yeah.
And my kids were just like, they didn't see it at first. I'm like, what? And they'd be laughing and he'd go and he'd kick somebody else and they'd be on the ground. And it just became this ridiculous thing. And then he taught my kids how to kick slap. And then they did it for weeks. For weeks they did it. Like it was the funniest thing to them.
I love that. Oh, kids are great.
Oh, babies are the best.
Yeah.
Man.
So I also wanted to bring up a subject we haven't really talked about, but podcasts. You have completely off topic. Um, um, as a fellow podcaster, I always love to chat with people. Like, what do you get out of having this podcast and interviewing these fantastic people?
Well, when I go for coffee or lunch or even a work meeting with my friends, we talk and then we're like, we just talk and talk. Like, we're like, okay, so this happened. And we'll talk about something and then we'll relate it and we'll relate it. And it's like everybody has something to say on this. And then we'll be like, okay, we have to get to work. I'm like, okay, but I just have one more thing that I have to talk to you about. And we will do that. Like my friend Meg and I, she helped me, she directed Got MILF, the live version. And we would literally talk for 2 hours. And then the last half hour, we'd be like, okay, I've got to go get my kids in a half an hour. And we would run it and be like, yep, we're good. Okay. And even our wrap up conversation, we talked for 2 hours at brunch.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, I have to go get my kids. It's always the kids are our deadline.
Yeah.
I could go get my kids. And she's like, okay, so this is what I would do. This. And you're going to want to put together a press kit. I'm like, okay, great. I will do that and then I'll get back to you. Great. So we do that. And we joke about how we're completely off topic.
Yeah.
And then one time I was like, that's the name of our podcast. It was totally a joke, right? But then I'd applied for all these grants to make sketch comedy. And then Tell a Story Hive, I saw that they had their video podcast. Well, it was called Voices at the time. And you could do a video podcast and get, some money to do it. And so I reached out to Meg and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I use our idea of like completely off topic? And the thing Meg and I love to do is we love to work with women and elevate female stories. That's what we do. I love other stories too. I love working with everybody, but that's what we feel like we're called to do when we work together. So I'm like, what if we just had like female artists that we love, that we want to promote? We got to talk to them in a casual setting and we talk about everything about what they do. So we get to know the artist, not the art. And she was like, I am game. So she couldn't help produce at that time because she was doing a show with Theatre Calgary. And so anyhow, I put together the pitch. For some reason, I didn't get any of the funding for any of the sketch comedy that I'm trained to do. And it's like, this is going to be, and I got the sketches written and they're written with my friends from Upright Citizens Brigade in the States. Yeah. These are good. No, we get completely off topic funded. So I'm like, this is a joke that we get this, if not that. But I was like, okay, well, let's try it. And so season 1, Meg actually had COVID, so she couldn't do it. Oh. And so I just ended up doing it by myself with some friends that I knew had different artistic backgrounds. And then just did that whole process and I loved it. Like I loved talking to women, and it's crazy, right? Like you think, oh yeah, women, they're going to talk about their kids. They're going to talk about their periods. They're going to talk about whatever. Yeah. Every conversation is completely different. And I think you do fabulous. Like you've done a amazing amount of prep work. I do no prep. I know these women from something.
Yeah.
Or I've heard about them from somebody. We bring them onto our set. We're like, hey, we are going to talk about whatever. It's going to go all the way around. In the last 5 minutes, I'll say, oh my God, you're a dancer. What's that like? And you have a couple of minutes to sum it up. Yeah. And they're like, okay, cool. And I'm like, and at the end of it, anything you don't want said, I will cut it out. Yeah. Just so people are super comfortable. And then we talk and we always get that 5-minute warning. And almost every one of our guests goes, well, that's it. Like they're like, no, I want to have more coffee. Like I want to keep talking. And we're like, we can have coffee afterwards, but we're done here. Yeah. You need to go. Yeah. Get out.
Get out. You're done. I've had my fill of you. Get away.
Yeah. So I think like what feeds me in it is just now that, Meg is on season 2 and season 3, and season 3 is releasing, I think in the next month. It's all due, like Tell us sets the deadline. Yeah. Right. So we just love sitting down and talking with each other, and Meg is hilarious. And I have a different sense of humor, but we crack each other up. So it makes everybody really comfortable, and we just talk and let them say what they want to say. And the conversation just flows. And sometimes we have on stand-up comedians like Brittany Lysing, which is just the most ridiculous one of our episodes, because we end up talking about making cosmetics for our genitals. it's just, we're like, how do we get here? I don't know, but we do. And it's like when you sit down and talk to somebody and just let it free flow, there you kind of mine some gold,
Yeah.
you find some beautiful stories. I mean, we have one lady on this season, Kaya, who's an incredible actor, and we go into the grief of her losing her mom. Or sorry, yeah, her mom and her and just like her journey with that. But then at the end of it, there's laughter and there's comfort. And you get to see that friendship kind of bloom on screen because ours is a video podcast, or you can listen to it.
Yeah.
And I think that just connecting with people is such a beautiful thing.
It
Isn't
is.
that show, right?
Yeah, that's what I love about it. I love just having conversations with people, whether it's to talk about their career or we're talking about the Oscars or we're talking about something random. Like, it's just fun to have conversations and just have people listen and get some new perspectives on things.
Yes. What's your favorite thing? Like, what's your favorite thing to talk about on podcasts?
I love talking about people, like hearing their stories and where their creativity comes from. I love that because I've had a bunch of different people, and I feel like sometimes people think creativity, I'm just talking about when I have actors, singers, um, those people on, but it's also, I've had entrepreneurs on, I've had a bunch of different people, um, that you can find creative. I even had like a psychologist on. Like, there's just ways about it that I just find so interesting to just hear people be creative and release realize why they were put on this planet, and I just love that.
Oh yeah. I love like when you find people's passion. Yeah. It's like you see their joy and they're like, you can see their spirit like come out of them and it lights them up. And you're like, yes, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
My oldest son is like an incredible musician, a saxophone player. He also plays the flute, the guitar, drums. Like he teaches himself different instruments too. But he ended up going to university for aerospace engineering.
Oh wow.
I, you know, and the artistic parent was like, you chose aerospace engineering?
What good is that going to be for anybody?
Boring. Oh, you're going to make money for a living? Yes. And you're going to like be able to build and create things. So at the end, like when he explained to me, he's like, but mom, like in the science of it, there's a lot of creativity. Like I get to create things, learn things, and help that support something that I'm making. It's very creative, right? So there's creativity in every single job. I feel like if there's a passion for what you do, it then becomes creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100%. If you have the passion, you will find that creative wherever it is. I've had like a brewer on as well, and that's like, she brews beers. You don't think, but like coming up with these recipes and ideas and doing all this stuff, like it's all still creativity.
Yeah. It's making things, right?
Yeah.
People are going to experience it. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I just also like to, chat with, there's so many great people in this province and like in Calgary that I still like, it's crazy to me that people don't think about all these local talents, whether it's, they, as a major person like John Mulaney, as we mentioned earlier, comes to town and people look at the ticket prices and you're like, do you know how many local comedians you could go see for that price?
Oh my goodness, you could go every night of the week for the whole year, probably.
Yeah, and like people not thinking that there's anything to do. Like, I mean, that's again, I've mentioned this on the podcast before. The reason why I started this podcast was because I lived in Toronto for a year. And when I came back, everybody said, must suck because there's nothing to do here. And I was like, what do you mean? You can find live music, drag shows, stand-up comedy every single night of the week. You can go see theater.
Yeah. Yeah, there's tons to do.
Yeah. So you actually just said the word that I was going to ask you as we're starting to wrap up here. One thing that's been kind of brought up several times as you're speaking about different aspects of your life is community. You seem to have a great community, whether it's your friends in the industry, your family. Why do you think, or how has having a strong community made you to where you are today?
Well, I think I think it's really important, and I think community changes all the time. Like I have my kids play hockey. I have an incredible parents hockey community. Like when I go watch a game, I sit down with my friend Paige and we're like, "What's going on?" And and you just have that support and that community is just like a way of understanding each other and feeling like you belong, right?
Yeah.
So, um, in the acting, I feel like it's a little bit different as an actor. It's very rare you feel like you're part of the community because the crew is there for the whole thing. They have time to like bond and do everything together. And then acting, you're on for like a day or two, unless you're the lead.
Yeah.
That's like you're part of the family. But it's tricky to be part of the community when you're an actor. Stand-up comedian, like everybody's backstage or on the sidelines, you know, giving you knocks, giving you high fives or whatever it is, handshakes. Um, I feel like when I don't feel like I'm part of the community, I can feel like almost depressed. You know what I mean? Like I get into this funk. And then I realize I'm like, oh, I need to go see people. I need to go feel like I belong. So actually having friends and family this past year was huge. Like I felt so much support in different aspects of my life. But my kids are also like, kids are hard. Kids are hard work. It's like, it is not just physically and mentally exhausting. It is emotionally exhausting, but man, do they give you purpose.
Yeah.
They, like if I feel like, oh, I don't want to do something or, oh, what am I doing with my life? Then I'm like, well, looks like I have to keep going because they need to get to soccer, hockey, school, whatever. They need to eat. I need to cook. Like it just makes me have to get up and live my life. And then when I find joy in my community, in my work, in my children, in like laughter, then you're like, oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this, right? Like the love that we all share. I love my friends. I love my kids. Like we're so blessed. I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful. And when it gets to that place, then things flow, right?
Yeah.
Things happen.
That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna let you go here, but we mentioned people can go onto your YouTube to find a bunch of your stuff. You've got a new season of Completely Off Topic coming up, and so what else can people look forward to in 2026 from you?
Well, I was just in a film that just got released called Reminders of Him.
Oh yes, that's right. I saw that. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw that you're in it.
Yeah, so that just opened March 13th.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. I'm also actually in pre-development on a series right now, so a comedy series. So that's kind of taken my focus and I'm really excited about that. And then a friend of mine, Sandy Hoekstra, and I are in pre-development on a documentary
Oh.
about two moms who are comedians and are trying to make sketch comedy for a broadcast. Do you see the full circle here?
Yes, yes. Wait a minute.
Yeah, so Sandy and I we've just applied for a few grants and some funding. And so we want to go to Toronto Sketch Fest, which we've been to a couple of times. We want to we want to talk to Second City performers and Baroness Phone Sketch ladies. And we want to also just to get ideas of where they are at in their careers as moms. Everybody on it is going to be a mom.
Yeah.
And how their careers affected family life and how their family life has affected their career and how they've gotten to the level they've gotten to. And then we're going to use that information to build a sketch comedy show that we are going to pitch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're like, what are we doing with our lives? Like, how about this? And when Sandy's on board, Sandy's actually directed a couple of documentaries that have won awards.
Oh, yeah.
She's also done some Upright Citizens Brigade, sketch writing and stuff like that. So we love working together. She's the one who directed Got MILF and edited it. So it's just fun to work with her. Otherwise, I feel like I'm the perpetual actor where I'm like, I don't know. I just done 3 really cool auditions. So I might be busy all summer or I might be sitting in my kitchen.
Yeah. Who knows? That's the joy of this industry.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, such joy.
Well, as I let you go here, I just want to thank you for taking the time. And I also want to thank you because in 2026, I think we need laughter more than ever. There's a lot of crap in this world, a lot of crap in this province. And so I think comedy is so important. So thank you for, helping making people laugh.
Oh, well, thank you so much for. It was lovely meeting you.
It was so nice meeting you.
A couple months ago,
Yeah.
and then and like getting to do this, it's so fun. I appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. And I look forward to everything. And people, go check out her YouTube. Go watch her stuff.
Oh, I'll tell you what my YouTube is. It's Susan Serrao Sketch and Stuff. And completely off topic with Susan and Meg is on that pattern, as well as my sketch groups, Sketchy Beavers, Sandy and Susan Do Stupid Shit, and Got Mouth.
Perfect. So people, you can go and do that. That's easy, free.
Yeah. After you've listened to all of Craig's podcast episodes, then go straight there.
Yes, exactly. We're wrapping up now, and now go. Perfect.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, your action item. This is your action item.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Susan Serrao, for being here today. Like I said, and she mentioned, check out her YouTube page. You can see a bunch of her stuff on there. And, if you ever see her name doing stand-up, go check out her stuff. She's hilarious. She was such a pleasure to talk to. I absolutely adored her. I've been so lucky. I know I say it a lot, but I'm so lucky to have so many incredible guests come on, take the time to interview with me, because they're busy, and I'm busy, so trying to find that time as well, and I've just been so blessed. So thank you, Susan. I really, truly appreciate it. Make sure to follow me on social media at PTW Craig, Passing Time with Craig on Facebook and Instagram for all the fun ways to pass the time. Otherwise, we'll chat soon. Bye.